The solar panels are finally unfrozen from the ground, so our goal today is to get these mounted on the roof. We had previously built this frame to hold our solar panels, but we built it so it would fit an extra solar panel in here, and we had to go pick one up, but it ended up being a slightly different size. By the time we got that panel and got it mounted in there, these got frozen in. So now that they're unfrozen, we're gonna get them up on the roof. We're not exactly sure how we're gonna get them up there, but I believe we're gonna use the skidster, get them lifted, get it generally close in place, and then get it screwed to the roof. so the bottom is loose on these. The panels were only screwed in from the top when we were previously doing this because the bottom was sitting on the ground, and once we lifted it, we were going to put the bottom bolts on. Forgot to do that, and that's why it's sagging so bad, so I'm going to put those in now. So hopefully that will make our frame nice and rigid, and hopefully make it easier for us to slide this up the roof farther and get it more centered. Frame's all screwed up on the bottom. It's not even touching that center post anymore. So I think we'll get the skidster back over here and try and move it some more. Turned out to be a real nice day for putting up solar panels.
There they are. I think I'm gonna just start this whole moment right here with saying don't do anything that we just did. That was really sketchy and honestly kind of scary, but we finally got it up there. It's not exactly where we wanted it to be. Initially, we were thinking we wanted it to be centered both this direction and this direction on that solid black metal roofing. But to be completely honest, we got it up there. It's where it's at. And we don't really want to mess with it too much more just because it is kind of it's kind of scary to do what we're doing right now. So we got it up. It's not perfect. This side over here does need to lower down about an inch, I think, to be even. It's been on and off snowing on us, so that's been really fun. But I think we are both happy that it's finally up there. Granted, it is only being held by two 2x4s right now, so we definitely need to just get in there and get those screws put in just so it's there. If you like trying to catch snowflakes, this is probably the best time to do it, but instead of snowflakes, they're little tiny like snowballs. Fun fact, these little mini snowballs are called grapple, and there's no ice. It's not like hail whatsoever. It really is just pure snow, little tiny mini snowballs that fall down. It grapples a lot around here, and I actually like it a lot. I think it's probably one of my new favorite things about wintertime. The wind is starting to pick up, so we need to hurry up and get this thing screwed into place. The plan is to pre-drill through just the frame, so that's going to be about this much of our screw. This much is going to go through the metal and then our purlins. So hopefully we'll have a pretty good section of this is actually going down into the rafters to hold it in place. So hopefully this is enough. It kind of seems like an obnoxiously long screw, but it's needed.
Two.
That's three.
Three. I did two.
Hey, they're up. This is great.
Yeah, two more to go, and then we'll get that panel in there.
And then maybe tomorrow we'll do the electrical.
Yeah, maybe we'll mess with
This is not happening. I thought you were gonna have it go on the side, like how the other ladder is.
That's a long reach.
That's what I was saying. Because this isn't supported. You're not doing this.
I mean, I'm not doing this. You said you're doing it.
Neither of us are doing this. That's dumb. This would be a dumb move. We make a lot of dumb moves, but this would be a big one. There's no way you're actually planning on doing this, right?
Yeah, I do. Are you gonna go up there or me?
I don't want either of us to go up there.
I'm going up there.
Cody, this is actually scary.
Why?
This is worse than the panels.
Yeah, okay.
It is, because if the panels fall, it's just the panels. Like, you're human.
If I fall, it's just a couple bones. I just fixed
Oh
one.
my gosh, you're a human being.
I know. People are weak.
Fragile. You just proved.
Hold her?
Huh?
Hold it.
Well, I mean, like, I actually am terrified right now. So just remember there's logs to your left, so when you fall, you're going to land on a log and hopefully not get impaled.
Fine.
Oh my gosh, Cody.
Just walk only on this side of the ladder.
Right? Holy smokes. I don't condone this.
I don't like it either. Fine. You're the one talking me out of it.
Good. That's my intent, is to talk you out of it.
You're getting in my head. I would have just went and done it, and now you're causing issues.
In the comments below, please tell me who is right, me or Cody, with if we should be doing this right now. Nobody should be climbing that when the ladder is set up like that. That is so scary.
What if I take a 2x4 and brace the other side backwards?
No.
Like we're doing for the
No. This is kind of what I pictured, but...
Oh, is it? What are you doing to me?
I'm just making sure you don't fall. Once you get up far enough, I'll stand on the ladder to steady it. Oh, there you go. Ready? Woo!
The panels are finally up and they are providing power to the house, but I've run into two issues. First one, I've got to get a breaker box installed so that we have a kill switch for the panels so I can get them disconnected from the house if I need to, but my cables coming down from the panels currently are frozen down into the ground. So I'm going to get that box mounted and ready to go, and then once they unthaw, we'll get them clipped and go through a breaker box to essentially have a kill switch for them. Second issue I'm having is up on the roof still. I was noticing as we installed the last panel that every time I touched the roof, I was feeling power. If I touch this and I'm grounded to our ladder, I can feel power going through there. Now this isn't a huge issue, but to show that we are having power go through here, if I put my negative to the ladder and I touch the edge of the roof with the positive, I am getting up to about 30 microvolts. Now this is a very minimal amount of power that's going into the roof, so it's not enough to hurt me. So what's happening is essentially being all of my cables are running directly on the steel roof, I'm getting a voltage leak. And what it's doing is it's just seeping some power through the insulation of the cables, being I'm going across such a large conductor. This is causing it to be like a capacitor type thing. It's putting a little bit of power into there and it's just looking for a way to get down to ground. I don't have a short, because if I was getting a short where one of my cables got cut on the roof or anything and it's touching the roof, I would be getting the whole power of the solar panels coming through this and getting down to ground. I don't have a ground on our system at all. So what we're going to do to fix this is I'm going to get a ground rod in, and then we're going to get this roof connected to it, and then eventually we will be able to also get our house grounded to that same rod. Here seems like a good place as any to get our breaker panel mounted. So I'm going to put a couple scrap pieces of board up here so I have something to screw to, and then we'll get it mounted up here. Next up is our breaker. We're not going to be hooking the wires up to this right now because they are frozen in the ground, and this isn't like your traditional breaker where it pulls power off of your rails in the middle. This is literally an in and an out with a breaker switch in between. And then when our wires get unfrozen, we'll get those running here, and then we'll have a kill switch for the panels. Next, I'm going to address that grounding issue on the roof. So I'm going to run my ground wire just with some regular house wiring here because I will tie into this later for running lights and whatever else in this building. And I'm going to run it right along with this cable coming down from the solar panel. I'll have it wrap around the edge of the roof here. Then I'll have it follow this floor joist over to the breaker box, and then I'll run it down to a ground rod that I had laying around. I'm going to leave a little bit of extra here by the center so that I can tie my light in off of that. So here's my ground rod. I think I'm going to put it just inside the building, right here in this corner. The ground's a bit frozen, so hopefully I can break through that and then have smooth sailing from there. Yeah, I didn't make it very far, and I flattened the end. My wrist is not having it with that maul, so hammer it is. Well, this is pretty pathetic. I've made it down maybe an additional 2 inches there, but the shock of the maul on my wrist is not doing great, and the hammer is not moving me very quick. So I'm gonna have Lori come and whack on this for a bit, I think. Before I get Lori to start pounding in that ground rod, I'm just gonna get this ready and get this grounded. We will just strip this back a little ways just to get that ground wire, and I'm going to take this screw out a little ways and just wrap it around there and screw it back down tight. I'm just going to take this whole washer out because I don't really need to worry about water here anyway. Get a better ground connection onto that.
Hopefully this will help us out a little bit more. I feel like I'm just not making any progress. We're gonna reach a point where there's no going back. If there's too many rocks, it's not like we're gonna be able to just pull it back out again. So, whew, let's see. see if we make any progress now. I'm hoping these gloves will help. It's kind of bringing me back to the softball, baseball days, that tinging that you feel in your hands when you hit with a bat. So it's not very pleasant, and the ground is pretty frozen and rocky, so we're gonna just see if we're making any progress. Otherwise we might just postpone this until the ground thaws a little bit more. We'll see. It's taking a lot. I think I might put a pause on this just for right now. The ground's pretty hard, rocky, and frozen, so I think I'm gonna wait for it just to thaw up a little bit more deeper into the ground, and then we'll keep working on pounding it down. The panels are up. That's one thing off of our summer to-do list that we wanted to have done. They're all hooked up, ready to go, and they're actually charging our house right now, even though it is completely cloudy. That's kind of why we initially did the 4 panels instead of only 3. The 5th panel just makes it that much stronger. I think they look pretty nice. Again, we were kind of hoping to have them completely centered on this portion of the roof, on that black metal, but it's totally fine. We got them up there safely. Nothing fell, nothing broke, so that feels really good. And then we do just have a few more things to finish up with this project. We just kind of have to wait for things to thaw out a little bit more. We need to finish getting that grounding rod put into the ground. It's part way, but we want to get it all the way in. And then we also have to wait for the snow to finish melting away, just so we can access the wires that go from the panels and then along the ground all the way to our house. So we have to get that done as well. And then once those wires are fully thawed, we can access them. We can kind of finish getting everything finally hooked up. It was a little bit of a bummer that they didn't get put up on the roof right away, and they sat on the ground over here by the solar kiln side of our woodshed building. But it isn't the end of the world. They sat on a trailer last winter. No big deal whatsoever. I am very excited though to see now that they are lifted up in the air, they're at the proper angle. I'm curious just how much more power they're going to give us throughout winter next year, and maybe we won't have to run our generator quite as much.